a castle, their roles are assigned, their fates in the game, forever entwined. Under cover of night, the traitors will slay. Can a faithful fight back, or be the next play? Till death do us part, in shadows they hide. Murder and treachery, secrets and lies. They'll all stop at nothing for the ultimate prize. All are mere puppets in the world of the traitors. From the meek to the fierce, pawns to dictators, bound by the strings of the silent orchestrators. Every move, every breath, a twisted decree, a game of betrayal. No one's truly free. Till death do us part, in shadows they hide. Murder and treachery, secrets and lies. They'll all stop at nothing for the ultimate prize. All are mere puppets in the world of the traitors. Who can you trust when the darkness descends? The blade in the back, the whispers of friends. The court is a theater, the blood-stained stage, a dance of deception, a war in a cage. Till death do us part, in shadows they hide. Murder and treachery, secrets and lies. They'll all stop at nothing for the ultimate prize. All are mere puppets in the world of the traitors. Come friend, come foe, come one, come all, to the highlands to see who lives and who falls. Jokers and fools, queens and kings, all are mere puppets on invisible strings.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the review of the penultimate episode, number 10. How you doing?
What a good episode too.
Yes, it was a great episode. I hated how it ended. I hated having to wait another.
Me too.
But it was a really good episode.
It was.
Yeah, and the round table was amazing, and we are going to go through all of it.
Yes. The only person we didn't get to see this week though is Lala the dog.
That's right. Lala wasn't in it at all.
I know. I was so bummed about that because I really have enjoyed her this season.
No, they need to show her a little bit more often.
They do. But man, what an episode!
Right, crazy. Last week it ended. We had Carolyn and Sam. Well, Carolyn was banished and Sam left at the beginning of the episode. This week it began with Britney walking into the dungeon because she had to make a choice. Danielle decided she wanted her to make a choice on either join her to murder or refuse and be murdered.
Which, of course, Britney and Danielle have this crazy alliance going on that started off with them hating each other, and now they're in love with each other.
Yep. Yep, exactly. And so yeah, Britney even said that if it had been anybody else, she doesn't know what she would have decided, but because it was Danielle, she couldn't say no.
Exactly.
Which I
So
think that's crazy. You're probably not going to leave the game, but okay.
it's very like with everything that's happened too. It's just going to be very interesting to see what actually ends up at the very finale episode.
I know.
Oh, it's too good. They do this to us all the time.
Yep. So, Britney then says yes, of course, and they're all excited. They go up to the Tourette and they discuss who they should murder. Of course, we're not privy to who they decide on at that point, but they start the discussions, and Britney's very excited to be in the Tourette with Danielle.
Yes, and they're actually like strategizing and coming up with a game plan, which kind of seems cool for once because we haven't seen this at all with the Traitors this season.
Right. It's like almost a normal season, but at the very end of the game.
Yes.
Yeah, because Rob wasn't gonna let him, and then Carolyn was just like, yeah,
she was done.
right. And then Danielle wanted to murder them both, so yeah.
Yeah.
So Danielle then tells the confessional it's the first time in the game that she's felt really good because she's got somebody by her side, and that's the first time that that's happened. So
Yes.
she can just, go on and have a great freaking rest of the game, she feels like.
She thinks.
Yeah, she thinks. So, first in is oh no, then they also decide that Dylan and Dolores are their people in the Tourette. So as they're talking through everything, they decide that Dylan and Dolores are their two people that they want to take to the end, and that everybody else is up for grabs, up to kill.
Yes. And they're undecided whether they're going to kill Ivar, Tom, or Gabby.
Right. Yeah, Tom, Ivar, and Gabby are the choices, and they're not sure who. So then breakfast begins, and Danielle and Dylan are the first in.
Yes.
Dylan says that they are so lucky still to be here, but pretty much now all of that luck is going to be removed for them, and the only thing that's going to get them by is strategy, is what he's telling Danielle. She agrees because she just does. She always looks so awkward. Like she's taking over the weird faces from Carolyn.
She is. And her shaking. Oh my gosh.
I got a couple of her weird faces, but they were at the end during the round table. But still, it was the weird faces that she was making. Like,
yes, her bug eyes. Oh my gosh.
yes. Wait, was this the? Oh no, that's the closing eye. So anyway, yeah.
I love though that Danielle feels like she's on cloud nine, and she's so happy that Britney and her are, partners in crime, and she thinks like it's just going to be a normal day at the castle.
Yep. Yep, like really. Yeah, so she was the next one in. And then
Dylan tells Danielle that it's going to come down to trust, and that he actually trusts Danielle, and that he's never actually trusted Gabby from the very beginning, and that Carolyn and Gabby put Danielle's name down at the round table the night before, and that's where they hear the knock on the door.
Yes. Yep, and then Britney walks in.
Yes. With Dolores.
And Dolores is just going on about what a mission, and Britney says there's a lot to decode. And Dolores replies, she's like, no, not really, just what the fuck. I still think Tom's a traitor. That's all.
Yes. And she's like, he would stab you in the back in the 11th hour. And Brittany's like, yeah, I agree. He would do it in a heartbeat, which this is totally Tom. Like, this is how Tom is. He would stab anyone in the back just to get ahead. That is how he is in life and in Traitors.
Yes, it is. Very much so. Yeah, and that's where Brittany's basically just telling the confessional it's a normal morning. She's got no guilt or anything towards any of the decisions that they made, and she says all of her expressions and everything all the same as they are every morning, and things are going great.
Yeah, I call bullshit because she was very overly joyous and her vibe was definitely off. I don't know if anyone else caught that, but I caught that.
Agree. Well, and I thought Danielle was also overly joyous to see Britney, but
Yes.
so they're discussing the three that are left, which is Ivar, Gabby, and Tom, trying to figure out between them, who it might be. Danielle says it makes the most sense for them to kill Dylan of everybody up there. And then Dylan says, oh, wait.
Ivar.
Yeah, Dylan, and then, makes Danielle's, sense for them to kill. Oh, and then Gabby and Tom. Okay, and then Dylan says that Ivar is the most faithful of the faithful, and then Gabby comes in.
Yes. Which her outfit, she was killing it with that outfit.
Pictures. Where's my picture? Here it is.
That booty shorts. It was booty rocking everywhere.
Oh my God. I was going to get a side view, but it was really hard to get the entire outfit with the front of the boots in any other picture. So,
she looked gorgeous.
But she does look gorgeous. And there is something that drove me crazy. I hope the picture's in here. Yes, it is. Something drove me crazy throughout this episode on continuity where Traitors messed up on continuity. Every time that she was in the confessional talking, she looked like this.
Yes, her hair.
She's styled completely different. That was a completely different day that they did this.
You are absolutely right.
And then she pulled her hair back the wrong way.
I mean, she did look good, though, with her hair that way in the confessional.
Oh, yeah, no, she looks beautiful. But I'm just like, holy cow, Traitors, you guys are better than this. What the frick?
You are right. I didn't even catch on to that, though. I noticed it didn't click.
Right. They are better than this. So through the whole episode, it was driving me crazy that she was looking different in the confessionals because it clicked right away. Like, what the hell? Her hair is different.
Yes.
So
good catch.
Stunning in that outfit. Oh, the other thing about this outfit too is when I very first laid eyes on it in my first watch through, I thought that somebody made that in home ec because it's like turned inside out almost.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I was so confused. And then the more I looked at it, I realized the edges are perfectly, uniform and everything else. They're all on point, and it's probably some kind of weird designer, but it was, just the hemming of it was very strange.
And she couldn't lift her arms up.
No.
Which was crazy, but I loved it still.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes. But she walks into breakfast. Her heart is beating out of her chest. She tells us that she did vote for Danielle because her argument was so strong against Carolyn. And she feels that Danielle has more insider information. Gabby's getting smart with this game.
She is getting smart at the very end. It's impressive. Good for her.
It is.
She, then says Gabby and Britney then talk about how the Traitors have all acted unhinged and psychotic. So
yes.
She's in the confessional saying that all Traitors are clinically insane.
Yes, and I agree though.
I know.
And she says that one is choker on the loose is
Cooper.
Danielle. Cooker on the loose, yes.
One more Cooker on the loose, and it's Danielle. Because for a minute, I'm like, Cooker, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, Cooker. I spelled that word 5 different ways in my notes.
Me too.
Kooker.
And I think I spelled it like cocker. That's why I said cocker.
So then Dylan says to the group that it's either Tom or Ivar. They're the last two. Danielle says Tom will be... Oh, Dolores, not Danielle. Dolores says, well, Tom will definitely be here because it's not going to be a good day for me.
Yes. I was like, oh, Dolores.
At that point, knock on the door and Ivar walks in and Tom is gone.
Dolores was shocked, which I had the same shocked face as Dolores, but then it turned into like me doing a happy dance because Tom was finally gone and I've waited this long for him to leave.
I know. Where's my picture of him? I put it in here.
What a cocky little son of a bitch he was too. Oh,
Yeah, I could not believe he put the paper over his moneymaker.
I know.
Like, you're so stupid. And I cannot believe I wrote down the shit that he said because I was dying.
Me too. I couldn't believe he said the shit he said.
It was so funny. He comes in the room and he's laughing. First of all, I think he probably, every time he opens the door, he says, oh, that's exactly what I expected. Like, there's no letter in there. Yep, I knew I wasn't getting one, but I'll be the last one in. Oh, wait, I'm not the last, like. So he comes in and it's exactly what he expects because that's his personality type of know-it-all.
He was the most threatening guy left. Yeah, okay, Tom.
Because he is the most threatening guy left, so he was expecting this. Then he says he enjoyed it so much and he didn't realize he was going to be so good at it. He says that's kind of fucking cool. Then the numbnuts says, and I wrote this down, then the numbnuts says, because this is the icing on the cake.
It is.
He says, overall, I was a pleasure to work with for the most part. Not that other people were a pleasure, but they had the pleasure. Not that, and then I wrote down, not that anybody else was actually a pleasure, but it was him that was the pleasure to be worked with. He says, then says he's valued and respected, and that's all he can ask for.
Oh my God.
The fact that he says I was such a pleasure to work with. Like, I would never, like, Jackie, at the end of this thing, I would never end it and say, oh my God, Jackie, it was such a pleasure to work with. I would say, Jackie, you were such a freaking pleasure to work with. Like, who?
Exactly. You wouldn't be talking about yourself and like, oh, I was such a pleasure to work with myself and Kooch, like.
Jackie, you're just so lucky you got to do this Traitors with me. I swear. Hashtag blessed.
Oh my God, yes. He was killing me though, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, you were so good at this game. That's why you had 1,000 theories a day. You were so good, Tom. You were so good. That's right. So good at it.
Any good. He got lucky once.
They kept him around because he was so bad at the game.
Yep.
Does he not realize that?
Yeah, because almost everybody that's left wasn't great at the game. Well, actually, even Danielle wasn't good at the game. Everybody left sucked at the game.
Very true. Yes.
Maybe not Dylan, but yeah. So then, Alan comes in, and I'm going to let you take the pleasure of reading this one.
Yes, he goes, good morning, my remaining roomies. You have made it to the pre-ultimate breakfast spread, but sadly this morning, it's Tom that's toast. Tom, for once you are actually faithful. Thank you, Alan. I needed that.
His frame might have broken worse than anybody else's.
Yes, that's what I thought too when I saw it. I was like, oh, he really threw that picture down.
Yeah, it seemed to kind of crush more so than anybody else's.
It was great. Thank you, Alan. I needed that. We all needed that.
Oh my God, that was so funny. Yes, the faithful line, and everybody in there laughed. So, Tom, you think you got all kinds of respect in that from people. You're still walking out of there with a cheater reputation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he kind of also like made himself look bad too at the round table that night, calling all women cheaters.
Oh, that's right. He sure did. But
that didn't help.
But he was such a pleasure to work with.
Oh, such a pleasure.
He probably means for like the crew and the staff, not for the other cast.
Probably. He was the easiest going out of all of them. He didn't request anything, demand nothing.
Stuck a donut to a crew member from craft services or something.
He talked to statues,
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
So then Alan, I have Alan's first part of his outfit picture. Oh, so
He looked gorgeous.
Oh my god! And at first I couldn't figure out what was going on with the shirt, but that skirt and those boots, I was just, or that kilt, not skirt.
It was kind of like a jester shirt, like in that sense.
Yeah. And I just didn't I wasn't a big fan of it, but then I got it once they had to put that armor over him.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. And then the white collar. And that second look, this one, I want them to make a deck of cards with Alan on the deck of cards.
Yes. Oh, that would be so good. He looked so good there. I loved it.
That's his seer pose. The seer.
Yes. The seer.
So yeah, he explains the power of the seer. Speaking of which, says basically, I guess whoever wins the power of the seer is going to be able to pick anybody, get them one-on-one, and ask them the question if they are a traitor.
Yeah.
So, and at that point, I don't think he revealed to them that they had to wait until after the round table, but he does let them know later on.
Yes. He does it after, like, the very end of the mission, which I was like, you son of a bitch.
Yep.
You got me again.
And last week, I wasn't even thinking about it. But this week, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, holy crap, so that basically means if you ask the wrong person, then you're going to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're not a traitor, if you're faithful and you win the power and you ask a traitor, that's the last question you're going to ask before your death.
Exactly.
And that didn't even occur to me last week. Oh my god. Well, that's because we didn't know either. But
yes.
Wow. So yeah. So basically, he talks about the prize and says, you'll be able to ask the question, and then he also says seeing is believing, and it's and deja vu are the hints for the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So Dylan gets right away. He knows they're going to have to be reliving past experiences based on memory. So yeah, past competitions and based on memory.
I love Ivar though. He's like, I can't even remember anyone's name, let alone anything else. I'm like, I couldn't even remember your name for the first 4 episodes. I was calling you Lord for the first 4 episodes.
And when Britney spelled his name wrong, I'm like, oh, it's an A, not an E? Because I go back and forth on an E and an A on my notes. Gabby's very nervous about it because she said that this new power is going to stir up a whole bunch of shit. Then they leave breakfast, and we've got Danielle and Gabby in the kitchen. They're not talking about anything at all. In fact, what they're actually talking about is saying that they can't say anything because if they say the wrong thing to the wrong person, then they'll get the wrong idea. And they both know that they're talking to the wrong person. So.
It's too funny, though. It's too funny.
Right. Just that, they're not talking about anything, except they can't talk about anything because they'll both fuck each other over. So then Danielle moves on to Dolores.
Yes.
Oh, well, and then they're also Danielle is in the confessional saying that, Gabby's going to be done for. And,
yeah, it's going to be she's targeting Gabby and she doesn't know what she's in for. And believe me, Danielle, if that's what you had, that's all you had to go towards Gabby, girl, you ain't seen nothing here on YouTube. These women are vicious. She was she felt like she was going to rip Gabby apart. I felt like Gabby was done for. And Danielle didn't even bring the heat.
You're right, Devin. She didn't really make any big plays, but she didn't get much of a chance to. I think she wanted to, and then her big play would have been getting Danielle out, but Danielle beat her to it. But I agree, Devin, and welcome.
Yes.
And I'm
sorry, I did love Carolyn.
Yes, I did too.
Oh, I was saying how Danielle was talking about how in her confessional that Gabby was done for and that she was going to take her out of the water and she doesn't know what she's in for. But at the end of the day, if that's all she had for Gabby, that wasn't that much heat.
No, it wasn't. And Gabby held her own too.
Oh, I do too.
And then Danielle moves on to Dolores, tells Dolores that she trusts her 100% and that she's not going to be putting her name down and she's not going to be putting Dylan's name down. Then she says to Dolores that, it's always that one you don't expect. It's always, I always say, it's always that cutest one. And Dolores says, I could see that if it was Gabby. Gabby did vote for you over Carolyn. And Dolores says she wouldn't mind voting for her, but she's got to see tonight. And Danielle's just like, Danielle being a Big Brother player is clearly going to be about numbers, but these people that don't play competition games and they are just on regular reality shows, they don't really care about numbers and votes. And that's exactly Dolores the entire day is like, I need to hear what they're going to say at the round table, and I'm just going to do what I want. I don't care about your numbers. And we'll get more to that, even more to that later. But I do. Danielle and Britney are very much about the numbers, and Dolores is like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and which I would be the same way. Like, let's just see how it all plays out. Like, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to vote for this person if something can change within 5 minutes.
And I would be more like Danielle and Britney, like, we need numbers. So then Dolores tells the confessional that she fully trusts Danielle. Danielle is honest and loyal, and that loyalty means so much to her because how she was raised, that, it's that if you're a friend, you're considered family, and loyalty is everything.
Which I do understand that because that's how I was raised too. But this is a game. This is also a game.
Right.
So you got to take that into consideration too.
She's going to feel really stupid when she finds out Danielle's a traitor.
I do think she is. And then we see Ivar and Dylan, and they're like walking and talking, and finally they sit down, and Dylan, I think it was Ivar that said, yes, it was Ivar that was like the last two faithfuls, that he believes that there's at least two faithfuls left, and that at least one of them he's getting a vibe from is Danielle, and he's had that vibe for quite some time now, which I found interesting because I never thought that Ivar had the Danielle vibe going on.
Agree.
Yeah.
Then, so Ivar definitely is on to Danielle, and he seems pretty much stuck to that through the rest of the day. He's not going to...
Well, he makes good points, too. Like, he said that her mind is always racing at times, that she isn't sleeping, and where on the other hand, like, he can go to sleep and he's happy that he doesn't have to strategize or any of that, and that kind of is telling to him.
And this is probably going to be a little misogynistic, but can't most men just sleep anywhere?
That's true.
I
mean, for the most part.
I do understand what he's saying because she is overly stressed, and she's not. She's constantly. I don't see how she could sleep with the way her leg shakes all day long. It's probably doing that all night too.
Yes.
Then Dylan is leaning towards Gabby, but he is still on the fence, is what he tells Ivar. And then we've got Britney and Gabby talking. Gabby is telling Britney that she thinks that there's two traitors, and she thinks that it's Dolores and Danielle.
I thought that was great.
I did too. I loved that. I'm like, yes. That's awesome. She feels like definitely because she feels like it was traitor on traitor crime. Because, and then also she said she's positive about Danielle and says that she felt like it was traitor on traitor crime with Carolyn.
Yes.
Brittany's then telling the confessional that she's got to work on Gabby, but then she goes to meet Dylan to talk.
Yes. And that's where he asked her like where Brittany's head's at, and Britney just doesn't want to come off as talking shit about Gabby, but she said that Gabby didn't give two shits about her until her friends were all gone, and that she never talked to anyone outside of the Bambi posse, and how can she do that if she was a faithful, and she also had voted for Danielle last night. So that's where Britney's head is at with voting for Gabby at this point.
I liked that Britney actually brought something that could be considered some kind of a fact.
I agree.
That was good. Then we've got Danielle and Britney meeting again, but they didn't have any conversation. Oh, not Danielle and Britney. It was Danielle and Gabby are meeting again in that room. They've got no conversation. They're just basically resting in the tension. And as Gabby says, she is sitting in the room with a cold-blooded killer, and she is not.
That was too good. And she's making crazy faces the whole time. And Danielle doesn't even notice as she's just sitting there sipping her tea. I was dying at it.
I know. Let's see. And then we have them going on the way to the mission.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no, that's where Danielle. Oh, that's right. Gabby is saying that Danielle is in the confessional saying that she's about to end Gabby, and Gabby can't hang with her at all.
Yeah. And that she's going to annihilate her.
Also, yeah. It's just going to annihilate her. Britney and Danielle are in one car talking about the votes and, all confident and saying they've got shit on lock.
Counting those numbers, too. They were counting the numbers.
Which, didn't really do them much good. Dolores and Dylan in another car. Dylan asked Dolores what she's heard. Dolores then says it's going to be either Gabby or Ivar for her.
Yeah.
Dolores said she's up in the air between those two, and Dylan doesn't know what he's going to do. And then we've got the competition, and I have got some pictures. But what they're basically going to do is run through the woods to 3 different stations, and then answer a bunch of questions or do a task or something like that. And then they will add up all of the earnings, go into the pot. But the person that earns the most individually is the one that will get the seer power.
And they can earn up to $30,000 for the total, which I think is the biggest pot so far, or close to one of the biggest pots so far.
Yeah, I think so. And then we've got Alan said that this was a beautiful summer day in Scotland.
As they're all drenched in mud and rain.
Yep. Look at that armor. It's so cool. And I got a great view of the side.
Oh, I love it. But, I thought they were going to do something with the field, because the field was like so cut, like precisely like it was a maze, and it looked so cool. And it ended up being nothing.
It's like cross. Yeah. Or like you could see Stonehenge, like rocks sitting, like, I don't know. Maybe they just like their circles over in the UK. I don't know. It is very pretty. Also green.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Very nice.
So the first competition was the clowns all entered. So this is the clowns all coming in to the competition. This is the clowns doing a formation. They were doing choreographed formations, and it was really cool.
See, what threw me
like that little
but what threw me off is first, so they all just stand there, and he's like, all right, they're going to reveal what's in their waistcoat. Some are going to have, the money sign for 500, and some are going to have a skull, and you have to remember this. And then after they show it, then they start doing the dance and the formations, and I'm like, Alan, you didn't tell me that they were going to move around, and that I had to pay attention to which one was moving where.
It was impossible to figure out which one was moving where. They all
I know.
It was pretty much pointless.
I wrote down, though, the order that their waistcoats were in the beginning, and then I'm like, it doesn't even matter.
Right? Right, because then even like you might remember it, like you might be able to follow one, but you can't follow. There was 15 people, and 10 were good and 5 were bad. So you couldn't follow all 5 of those and see where they the formations, these choreographed formations and stuff they were doing.
I love Gabby. She was like, I was an NFL cheerleader for 5 years, and I'd never seen formations like that before. I was like, me either.
Right?
They were good. They were real good, except I don't like dancing clowns.
Yeah, I did like that she said that, and it was cool. Except, I don't really have an issue with clowns, but these are scary, creepy looking clowns.
For sure.
And because they're all look alike and that, I don't know, I think I'll have some fun using these as future thumbnails. But
There you go.
So then they had to, in the first competition, they had to go through and they had to pick a clown. If they popped the clown and gold dust came out, they won $500. If black confetti came out, then they lost. And if they had banked any money, they lost their entire pot for that round.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
So we ended up with Gabby did 500 and then she got a skull, which is bad. Britt got 500 and 500 and then she stuck.
Yeah.
So she got 1,000. Danielle did 500 and then she stuck. Dolores did 1,000 and stuck.
Yeah.
Ivar did 500 and he stuck.
And Dylan got a skull right away.
Dylan was the very last one and he got a skull.
I love though when Dolores was looking for which clown she was going to go to. She was like, "Oh, I picked this clown because it looks like one of my friends." And Alan goes, "I've met a lot of clowns in New Jersey myself." It's like, yeah, there are, Alan. A lot of clowns in New Jersey.
Right. I missed that comment. That's funny. I didn't hear that either time I rewatched it. That's hilarious.
Oh, man. I caught that run right away. I was like, oh, Alan, you're so good. You don't, if only you knew.
It's hilarious. Yeah, right. Now, this next competition, they revisited the dolls. And each doll had a pull string, and that you kept pulling the string, and it would either give you money or it would tell you were too greedy and you were done.
I thought that the dolls, so I thought like every time they pulled, they would collect that amount. But then it was like every doll too. Like every time you pulled, it was the same amount at first and the second pull and the third pull. And it was like, I thought you were going to change it up some. Like, that's not what I was expecting from these dolls.
I don't know. I think that's I guess what I was expecting.
Oh, okay. I thought like it was going to be like 2,000 one time, then maybe 1,000 the next time. Yeah, not like go 2, then 14, then 16, then 18. Like,
right.
You know, that was just kind of boring.
Right, that's true. Then we got, let's see. So I did take pictures of the dolls themselves, some of them, because I thought 2 of them were super freaking creepy. Holy crap. 2 of them were so damn creepy, and then the other 4 were okay. But did you think any of them
One of them looked like my doll, the one that Britney had.
Oh, okay. That's right. And then let's see. The ones I found to be the most creepy. Well, let's see. I couldn't decide because first I thought this one was the most creepy. Like, holy crap, that's a creepy.
Oh my god,
doll.
yeah.
And that was like the first one. I thought for sure that was going to win the Creeper Award. But then as I started taking pictures of them,
they were all pretty creepy. Oh no, I didn't. Oh my god, I guess I didn't get to look at that one. Oh my god.
I know. And look at the material of the shirt. It's the same as Alan's
yes. Oh my gosh.
And look at those lips and those teeth and like
that is a creepy doll. And was that Dolores's?
No, Gabby's.
Poor Gabby.
I also got close-ups. Let's see, that was Gabby's. Oh, yeah, this is the one.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay.
That was, I think, Danielle's doll.
Yeah, Danielle's was a blonde one. This one was Britney's.
Okay. Ivar's doll is scary looking too. It looks like it has a cut on his head.
Yeah, Ivar's doll I thought was a little bit until I saw that lip doll. I'm like, that puckered lips and that gingham top. I can't. But this doll is still really creepy too. So.
I love Dolores though. She says another funny saying in this one too. She was like, "This is the first time a kid's taken money from me and actually gave me money back."
Yep. Devin, I think it was an obvious choice, but maybe that it's because I'm biased looking on the outside in. I don't know.
I think it was more of a obvious choice too. But
so in that one, we ended up having Dylan went to 1800, and then his next spin was too greedy, so he lost. Dolores hit 1400 and stuck with that. Britney hit 1400 and stuck. Danielle got 2000 and stuck there.
Yep.
Ivar
was too greedy.
And then the last. Yep. And Ivar was too
and
greedy.
So was Gabby.
Oh yeah, Gabby at 1600 was her last one. So the 1800 she was too greedy, and Ivar's too greedy came at 1600. So I guess they had them all kind of, at different numbers, but to keep the mystery alive. But still, yeah, I think I would have preferred it the way you're like just different.
Yeah, that would have been so cool, right? And then like adding each pull to the prize pot too, like not like going with the last pull and that's the last number. Like that's what I thought when he described the game, but I was wrong, of course. Alan always throws me off.
Right. So let's see. Dolores was ahead in the final competition. Dolores was ahead, and then that's really all we know is that Dolores was ahead before they started round 3. And then round 3, they had to go to a bunch of really nasty, smelly bags and open them up and collect as many coins as they could. This is what the bags looked like. I didn't get any of them looking dirty because I was trying to find one really gross shot, and then I didn't see it the second time around, and I didn't want to try to find it.
And each gold coin was $100.
Yes, each one worth $100. So then they had to get all of those gold coins, put them into like a receptor.
A cage, they called it.
Yeah, they called it a cage. It looked like a box. A long box, but they had to put all the coins in that, and then they had 5 minutes total, and they had to have it hoisted at the end of 5 minutes, or they didn't win any of the coins.
Which I love that Alan didn't tell them that in the bags that there was actually going to be like crap in the bags, that they was going to smell very foul, and Dylan wasn't happy with that either.
I know, and Gabby is like, oh my god, there is like not enough baby wipes in the world to get this shit out of my nails. Like, oh my god, that's so gross. That's basically it for the
Yes, they all got to hoist them up, so we don't know how many coins each person put in their cage, and that's when Alan tells us that he's going to withhold the information on who is the seer until the business of the round table is dealt with. I was so mad at Alan.
Yep.
So mad at him.
I love his seer pose. I cannot
crack up. Yes. I loved it. And he made it a point to draw out that seer every time.
Yes, he did. Oh my goodness, so funny. So they get back to the house, they get all cleaned up, and they're eating dinner. And they're just, I guess, basically, Dylan's asking Gabby what she's thinking. Gabby says Danielle. She says, because of the murder in plain sight, and she caught Danielle coming out of that hidden room, which I forgot all
So did I.
But I was so glad they flashed back to that because it just completely.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that she also remembered that too. So way back, I think that was like episode 1 or 2, when Danielle got busted in that hidden room by Gabby, and Gabby finally pulls that.
That was the first one because that was the coffin episode. So that was that far back.
And then she also said because of Jeremy saying that it was Danielle, and also because Danielle was the first one to spread the rumor about Carolyn. Dylan lets Danielle know then that it's between her and Gabby. Yeah. Dylan doesn't want to believe that Danielle's a traitor. But he's not gonna allow himself to make a mistake either.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't want to make the wrong choice and then regret
And he
it.
said that
That's
Gabby's
basically-
evidence is very convincing, which I thought it was very
Yes.
convincing myself.
It is, yep. I wish we had seen her telling these people about the room earlier. That I wish, because it came up prior.
Oh yes,
to
probably
this.
multiple times, and they just didn't show us.
Right. He tells Danielle he's not made up his mind though, and he's not gunning for her either.
Yes.
She's just like, please, you gotta believe me. I'm just
She
so
was
hurt.
overly acting, it felt like. I knew she was probably hurt, but like she had nothing good to say to him either. And it was just like, she's like, I'm just so hurt right now. I don't know what to say. It's like, you could say a whole bunch more. Why aren't you?
Right.
But
Dolores tells, wait a minute, why do I have Dolores tells her she doesn't know? Oh yeah, Dolores tells her that that she doesn't tells Britney she doesn't know Danielle tells Britney. Oh yeah, Danielle then goes to Britney and tells her what Dylan said. So then Britney goes to Dolores and she's talking to Dolores, and Dolores says she doesn't know if she's going to go for Gabby or Ivar. And this is what we were talking about earlier. Like, she's just stuck to it being either Gabby or Ivar for her. And what ends up happening at the round table is because she's not gonna flip between, she's not going to vote for Gabby. Danielle and Britney end up conforming to her and voting for Ivar. Britney is then talking to Ivar, and she's getting really upset because he's convinced it's Danielle, and Britney is just like, there's no way I can write down her name, you guys. And she's just kind of, anybody that'll listen, like, there's no way I'm writing down her name. The confessional, the people, wherever she can say it.
yes. I love, though, that Ivar picked up on the fact that when Carolyn and Danielle were at it at the round table, that Danielle had stopped shaking and she was so focused, and that was something that Ivar had picked up, and that's where he thought that Danielle could have possibly been a traitor, and that was the traitor on traitor going on, because she's always shaking, she's always nervous, but when Carolyn came at her, Danielle was focused, she stopped shaking, and she was going at her. I was like, good one, Ivar, because I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that was good. And then with that, it's time for the round table.
Yes. And what a round table it was.
Britney started it. She just brought up her suspicions of Gabby and how Gabby would only speak to the Bambis at the beginning, and she would not talk to anybody else. It was just all Bambis all day. And then once the Bambis were gone, then she decided to feel like talking to other people, and that that's just not faithful behavior. If you feel so secure in your position, that seems more like traitor behavior.
Yes, and she was like, well, maybe it's because you had all the support. And Gabby was like, well, same could be said about you too, Danielle, that you had a lot of support too. And that's true. Danielle had a lot of support too in the beginning.
Yeah, and because Gabby's like, I'm alone at this table. You have a ton of support. I sit here alone. So even and I thought, oh, that's funny, because at this point Gabby's alone, but Gabby she sort of reinforced that but also fought it.
Yes, it was smart.
Yeah. Then Danielle says, well, maybe, oh yeah, that's where, because then Danielle said, well, maybe you have numbers, Gabby. And Gabby replies, I have no numbers. I'm here alone at the table. Gabby tells Danielle that she thinks that she was privy to firsthand information on Carolyn, because she's also a traitor, basically.
Yeah.
Danielle's steady, shaking her leg. She's making these faces. Let me pull my faces back up. Oh, yeah, that's her look at Gabby when Gabby said one of these
things. Like,
things.
okay.
Oh, and Gabby, yep. When Gabby says, traitor behavior, you're traitors. There she's probably looking at Dylan. Like, you are not about to vote for me. So then Danielle is shaking her leg, making those faces. Gabby says it seemed tense like it did before, back when Rob and Bob the drag queen were having traitor on traitor crime.
And Danielle was just like, I stayed quiet, so Carolyn attacked me, and I just brought out the receipts. I just did what I had to do.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and you were very focused when you did what you had to do, too.
You also brought out receipts before anybody asked
True.
for any. Then Dylan tells Danielle that she destroyed Carolyn in the argument. You didn't just bring receipts, you destroyed her. He says that he was on Danielle's side that night. He stands by her on the vote. He's got no regrets. But there was a chance that both of them were telling the truth, but Carolyn was not as convincing that night. Ivar agrees.
Yes, and he believes it was a traitor on traitor crime as well in his mind. And Danielle tries to play it off that she's a faithful. She has always felt that the traitor was the girl next door again.
Yes. I do want to say I love Danielle's hair. That is about the only thing I've loved this entire season consistently about Danielle.
And you know what's crazy though? A couple of fans were going at her for her hair, saying like she needed to brush her hair. And I'm like, I love Danielle's hair this season.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous.
They clearly don't know anything about hair.
Really pretty.
That's
clearly. Danielle then let's see. Oh wait, no. Danielle said she's a faithful. Let's see. Ivar agrees, says it was traitor on traitor. Danielle then said she is a faithful. Being a traitor, it's just not her. It's just not something that she could do.
Oh my gosh.
She says it makes no sense for her to murder people. It doesn't make sense. And then Gabby says, well, same here. It doesn't make sense for me either. I'm faithful. Then talks about Tom throwing around Danielle's name. Danielle says, well, I didn't even know that he was until...
Sure you didn't, Danielle.
Well, you knew about it then when other people... I mean, you knew about it once he did it, so what's the point? I mean, what is... Like, that argument made no sense either. And what is Devin says, not the best argument from Danny's part this time. She's trying to do arguments on the fly. You're not Rob.
I agree. Rob is really good with the arguments on the fly. That is something he is good at.
Yes, he is. And she talks about her voting record, about how she voted out Boston Rob twice.
So did I.
So did I. She says like that. Gabby says she's an easy target because she takes everything on the chin. Danielle says, "Oh, I don't think you're stupid." And Gabby's like, "Oh, I never said it was stupid."
Yes.
Danielle keeps trying to interrupt, and Gabby is like, "Let me talk."
It was good. And that's what I mean, where like Danielle was like, oh, I'm going to annihilate her. Danielle, you didn't annihilate Gabby at all.
Not at all. Gabby probably held her own with Danielle better than any.
Better than Carolyn, even.
Yes. Way better. Way better. Danielle says she just doesn't have the stomach to be a traitor. Gabby's like, same here. Dolores speaks up and says, I've never seen traitor in you, Danielle, and it doesn't even have to be a girl.
Yes. And that's where she brings up Ivar. And that Bob the drag queen did vote Ivar 2 times, and he is someone that can fly under the radar. And Dolores tells him straight up that she's voting for him tonight.
Yep. She said it's not about loyalty. It's about, but now it's not about loyalty, and it is about playing the game. And right now she trusts Danielle. Okay. That's such a confusion there, but okay. So then she's going to vote for Ivar. So then Ivar calls himself a token Brit. I never even, I'm like, token Brit. Like, I didn't even, like, of course I noticed he was British.
He's the only British one.
Like, for me, was... Yeah, but it was never like a Brits versus Americans or get the Brit out or like he didn't stand out for being
exactly.
British. It just fit in with all of them as just another person, not necessarily as
I mean, if he was the token Brit, wouldn't you be on the Traitors UK?
And you're like royalty. Are you allowed to call yourself token when you're
I mean, royalty? I would if I was royalty. But, you know.
Good point. So, so then this is the time Alan comes in, and it is time to vote.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So we've got first of the season. We've got Danielle, Dylan, and Gabby voting for Ivar, and then Dolores. Wait a minute, Danielle. Wait, Dylan, Gabby, and Ivar voted for Danielle. Danielle, Britt, and Dolores voted for Ivar. So it was a tie, and Alan says that they will need to revote. This time around, though, the people that were voted for will stay out of the vote. So Ivar and Danielle will not have a vote. If there is still a tie, fate will be decided by chance.
I have a feeling that's what's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to
happen. Why, though? Because so far we have Dylan, again, voted for Danielle. Dolores voted for Ivar. Gabby voted for Danielle. You really think that Britney's not going to put Danielle's name down?
I think it's a trick because I think that they would have given us more details on how a tiebreaker would work.
Yeah, you might be right.
I feel like they, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they, which leads me to believe then that Britney would have had to, because basically they do the whole round again. Danielle begs Dylan not to vote for her. So Ivar pleads his case.
Boring, they're both boring. Yes. Yeah.
But, you know, and so they go through everybody. Nobody changes their votes. Dolores does get this weird look, though, like she is about to write down. It looks like she's looking at Danielle, and then she makes this, like, very brief nod, like she's going to write Danielle's name down. And Britney is freaking out in her head because that's what she thinks is going to happen. But she is still saying that she doesn't think that she can write down Danielle's name. And then they end the episode with showing everybody's revote sticking to the same, except for Britney's vote. We don't know how she voted. So if it's a tie, then there's going to be some sort of, as Alan said,
pull a name out of a hat, maybe. Like
it will be decided by chance.
Whatever that means. Maybe there's a guy named Chance that we don't know. That's, you know, part of Alan's crew that's going to pick. For all we know.
Yeah, I have a feeling that she ended up, I don't know, like she votes for Britney votes for Danielle, and
but that would be like very for Danielle. That would, I mean, it's kind of like a slap in the face, but like kind of Britney gets the laugh in the same sense if she does put Danielle's name down, because it's like you made her a traitor, and you thought like it was a fairy tale. She kept saying, I feel like I'm in a fairy tale. I got Britney on my side. And here we are at the round table. And like, it's coming down to like Britney either putting your name down or not.
But then if Britney thought that Dolores put Danielle's name down, then she wouldn't have needed to vote for Danielle also, because there would have been enough votes. So there wouldn't have been a tie. Yeah. Because, I mean, the thing with the tie is what they didn't let us know is if there's a tie, does that mean that all four of you are now eligible to be eliminated and the other two aren't? Or, like, there could be so many different ways to play a tie in the rules of what would happen. And so I just feel like, and they didn't give us any kind of clue if it would just be, like, between the two people or if the other four people would somehow be affected. Like, I don't know. I feel like they would have told us something.
And you know what really like got me too? Like when we started Traitors, Alan had said like at some point in the game that they would, like when they get to the round table and the people leave, that they would get to a point where they're not going to let them know if they're a traitor or faithful. This was the last round table, and this was the last time that they were going to even let them know too if they were a traitor or a faithful. And it's like you literally did this throughout the entire game to the very last round table. So that's not revealing something. Like I thought we would have more time not seeing who was a faithful or a traitor.
Yeah, and I guess because, well, there'll be 5 left after this. So with those people, there'll be a couple. They'll probably do 1 or 2 or 3 eliminations, and they won't be able to
Yep.
find out. So it'll just all be on the last night instead of
big finale. And the reunion.
Yeah, so they haven't, I guess it's probably just a 60-minute finale and then a 60-minute reunion. What I like about these is they keep them at a full 60 minutes with no commercials. And that's
I love it too. Except if you watch it on your phone, you get commercials.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
So I tried to watch it on my laptop because I hate commercials. Or my TV.
I watched it on my TV. I haven't tried to watch it on my phone. I'll keep that in mind.
So my boyfriend decided to say that he wanted to, when you were like, oh, let's push it back because Anne's going live. And like, I was like, perfect, that works. Because he wanted to go get new work boots. So I was watching it again for the second time in the car, taking my notes down. And that's where I found out like they had commercials. I was like, really? Peacock on my phone? You suck.
I wish that his work boots looked like this.
They kind of do, actually. he got a different pair of work boots than he normally ever gets because he's like a Carhartt. He goes for the boots that he had last time, but they're like, regular work boots. But he actually got like these slide-on cowboy-looking boots as work boots. And they're very nice. I'll have to send you a picture because, I got you, girl. Cool. It was definitely something I did not expect him to go for. And he ended up going for them, which he looks good in them.
Pippi wants to know what she can get. Not that Laura Marie to bootleg next. I have an idea.
Ooh.
I don't know when the next season is, but do you ever watch The Circle?
I do watch The Circle.
Maybe for the next season of The Circle,
we could. And I actually you got me onto The Circle, though. I also knew somebody on The Circle the second season. But you were the reason I started watching The Circle.
That's right. That one creator. Oh my God. That feels like
that was like 2021. That's a long time ago, girl.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
The years are just flying by.
DX days.
Yeah, that was like I was going to, I think, the wedding. Yeah, I was going to the wedding and I was driving. So that was April of 2021 because I was driving to my brother's wedding and I drove the whole 9 hours down and I watched The Circle the entire time. I watched the whole season the whole way down as I was driving. Oh that's what kept me awake.
That's well, then, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So Pippi, maybe that'll be what's next, and we still want to figure out a game.
Yes, which I've been looking into that and trying to figure out what we can do. So got some ideas. Like I said, I can always take photos of the cards too, and like they always have these like random, especially with the AI bots now too. You can like put a bunch of photos in and randomly have the AI bot choose a photo, and we could do it like that way to pick a card, kind of a thing. So we can figure it out. There's ways.
Devin, I agree. I think all of the strategic players left early and they left all the non-strategic people in, except for Dylan.
Dylan is very good.
And Dylan wasn't ever on any of these games before. Like, Danielle and Britney.
But he was an avid watcher of Big Brother, Survivor, all of these games. So he knows how to play it from that.
I hope they put him on the challenge. I want to see him on the challenge.
They have a new challenge coming up too. I saw that.
I can't watch those until I only have Paramount. I don't have cable. So Paramount doesn't run those while the season's going. They wait until like 10 years later.
Well, I can always record them for you.
But it feels like 10 years.
I can record them and give you my Frontier app. I can't do that. I have cable, unfortunately. I have cable. I got all the apps too, like because it's I share with my grandmother too, so she's like so old school and has to have cable. Though we have all the streaming services too, and then some. It's like it's overlapping, but hey, I still get to watch everything and record TV shows.
So I guess we've got 1 week left. We'll see you guys, I guess, next. Oh no, we've got more. What am I doing? I gotta go to your page. And
Which
crap.
I am so mad because I know that they did the Newly Dead game where they answered the questions together, because Sam posted one of the questions on his IG, but usually it's the players that post it on the IG, but neither Carolyn or Sam posted the Newly Dead game except for that one question. So I ended up, was like, all right, well, what can I do for this week? So Peacock always does like the secrets revealed, kind of the Newly Dead, their version on YouTube. So I made it into 3 parts for us, which is still good too.
So let's see. We'll go with part. Share the screen.
Hey, Patty.
Part 1.
It was the element of me just getting more vocal around the round table, and I was one of the most vocal ones left. So that's why I think it came down to me. I came into this game to have fun, and I came into this game to, you know, do the missions, be competitive, but never really step on anybody's foot, because that's not something that's cool in my books.
Danielle, and I don't care, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think that she is a monster. And I had to be a monster too as a traitor, but she took it to a whole nother level, trying to gain sympathy from other people, faking the tears, faking the If I had to go up in that fucking turret with her one more goddamn time and fake that, I couldn't. I was not prepared for like all of the evidence that I had against her to be used to be flipped around on me. I wasn't. I said, I can't keep up with this. And I'm like, Dylan, you know this. What are you doing? Why are you just standing there? And he just stood there. But I didn't expect that from him. It hurt. It felt like, well, here I am once again, tripping over my words, stumbling over what I have to say, not being able to articulate anything, and nobody's listening. And
Coming into this game, it was very difficult to see where I was going to stand with some of the... Okay. The traitors are... Oh my God. Danielle's reactions, her nervousness was not genuine. One of the biggest thing in acting and in real life, when you cry, it's a vulnerable moment, so you kind of hide it. But if you do want people to see it, like a baby would, they kind of cry out loud. It's a form of communication. So she was always crying out loud. That's why it was never genuine for me. All the other people that she was super close to, she was really lying to them. Desperate times calls for desperate measures, so that's what she did.
I don't want her to win. I wanted to bring Gabby in because I was like, I just want to have fun. That's all I wanted to do this whole game is have fun. But I'm working with people that just weren't.
Wow.
Isn't this crazy? Like,
crazy.
as a faithful, you're probably thinking, and you probably, yes, never suspected me, because how did you view me in the game? Just be real.
I think you were the least person I suspected, which means I think you played it better than Danielle because she was not genuine.
Like, I cried a lot, but it was like genuine and real. And so when I saw the fake tears and her...
That was all fake.
All fake.
Right. So she's here to win, and she'll do whatever it takes, lie, cry. I told
And lying,
everyone.
I get. You might need to lie sometimes. She was basically trying to get me, and so I needed to get her before she got me. Nobody listens to me, or when I speak up.
They shouldn't believe you.
Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. No,
It was happening right in front of us.
I know, but I'm somebody like the same reasons you like don't suspect me of being a traitor. It's like when I actually needed people to like listen, they're not going to listen. Where you were at that round table.
That's why you were a good pick. They picked a good one. But was it Danielle's vote to murder me, or was it you?
So I had like kind of didn't know if I wanted to murder you because you had said like Danielle's next. You know,
Yeah,
like
she was
yes,
next.
I'll finally get somebody to be on board.
You should have waited one more day.
I know, and it's true. I thought about that. I'm like, crap. I was getting sick of your ass. Like you were getting too smart, and like you were. It was like shut up. And also people like saw you as faithful.
It's not that I was getting smart. I was just saving it for last.
People had said you were playing the smartest game. That's what people
Really?
had said.
Saving it for
at
last,
breakfast when you
really?
didn't show up.
But were they sad when I was gone?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
But you were
good.
too smart.
Wait, did you
Smartest
tell
game.
Alan you wanted to be a traitor?
Hell yeah.
You did?
Did you not?
Of course not. What do you mean? So
You
there's
literally said you didn't want to be a traitor.
Yeah,
Why?
because I didn't want to be a traitor. The last 2 nights at the castle, you have to be really desperate, and you have to do really desperate things. That's why I never chose to be a traitor. I think for you, it would have been hard too, as well.
I needed to hear that, okay? I needed to hear that because truthfully, there are things that I just know I can't do. And
Yeah.
I can't look
How did
people
you
in the
sleep
eyes.
at night?
Horribly. I felt crap. You know how bad I felt about Tony? I was bawling my eyes out.
Really? If you go back, would you choose to be a traitor or faithful?
Hell no, I'm a faithful. Like this is
So
way
you just
too hard.
you asked me, you're like, why would you tell Alan you wanted to be faithful? This is why. This is why. This is exactly why.
Thank you. It's true.
Yeah.
Like it's just not me.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to know who you want to win.
Who I want to win? Ivar. I want Ivar to win.
What?
Yes, because listen, like from
You want
this,
the Lord to win?
yeah, of course. But who knows? I think it's gonna get really messy.
See, he's so calm that he's like calming me down, and it's like maybe I should be like that too.
It would be if you were faithful.
Oh,
Do you have any questions for the faithfuls?
Why didn't anyone listen to me?
Because you're a traitor. I think if I was at the round table, it would have been a different idea. I had plans for Danielle the next day. Her time should have been your night of banishment.
Thank you.
But if it didn't happen then, it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
You shouldn't have been murdered yet. It's
Yeah.
the truth.
If you were, I don't think you were very smart with your moves. Otherwise, you would have kept me around, and you would have.
Sam
had me
was
do
blunt.
that and then murder me.
Sam
Any
is
other
like
questions?
Tom, but
yeah.
but Arab or
Isn't this crazy? Like,
Persian
as a
or
faithful, you
whatever.
probably think
Yes. And Patty, I have all the Newly Dead games as shorts on my channel, so you can check them out. But you can also go to Peacock on YouTube, and they have like the longer versions, like this was, but just not in parts, like I put it. So.
And this one, Rob is. Oh wait, we've got. Oh well, let's see. We'll play the Carolyn
Oh, this is
one.
good. Yes.
the impulsive side of me was like, I can't take it anymore, and this is the last night to recruit, and I want Gabby in here. But also, like, did I have the time to like actually go from person to person and be like, do I have your vote? No, but at the same time, I thought like she's got nothing on me. She doesn't have anything on me, so let's go. Like, I don't care. But truly, the plan was like, we're gonna get a man out, and that's where it was going. But of course, you see, like, that was the whole damn round table, is like we're gonna get a man out, and it was Tom and Dolores going back and forth. And then I get extremely triggered by some stuff that was said, and I reacted emotionally, and I just went for it. And so that's why I say, like, I was impulsive, because I didn't want to like go for her unless she came for me. Do you know what I mean? And truthfully, I think that she felt the same way. She wasn't gonna, she had her receipts. The impulsive side of me was like, I can't take it anymore.
Okay.
And there's
So, Patty, the Newly Dead game. So, as I was trying to say before, the players usually post the Newly Dead game when they leave. So, like when Rob and Derek left, Derek had posted the Newly Dead game on his IG. But Peacock doesn't post the Newly Dead game. They let the players post it. But the Peacock version is kind of like the extended, longer version of who's newly dead, and like them getting to talk to each other, like we just watched with Carolyn and Sam. But the Newly Dead game is kind of where they flip like the chalkboard signs, and they pick like who's the most valuable player in their eyes and all of that, which is pretty cool game in my opinion. But I love seeing it, and that's why I'm mad. Like, neither Sam or Carolyn posted it on their IG this week, and it's like, why? I know you had that opportunity.
Well, we've got one thing left, and it's just Rob's take on the finale
Ooh,
show.
I
yes.
feel like that maybe we might not have a jam-packed finale, and that's why we get this cliffhanger here to have at least one shocking moment left here in the finale to see Danielle get banished.
So it does, based on the numbers we had going into the third round of the mission, Danielle seemed to be in the best spot. But in the event that Danielle does go, whoever was second will get the seer power.
Oh.
So it's just, yeah. So the seer, that's why we're not revealing it here, because
Well, and it might be just like a real dud also, because then it's like, all right, I'm going to investigate Britney.
then it's bad. Then it's Curtains McGee. Absolutely.
So I'm a little worried we're headed into maybe Britney flipped, votes out Danielle, Danielle goes home, revealed traitor, and kind of a ho-hum finale. Now, we get a reunion show too, but it might just be not that much excitement in the actual finale. I feel like that maybe
I can see their point. I can see their point. I didn't realize though too, and I didn't even think about like if Danielle does go home, who's going to get the seer privilege? I just thought maybe no one gets the seer privilege at that point.
Yeah, it would be the second place, and that is if she got first
Yes,
place.
and she did look like she had a lot of coins in that cage. I will say that she looked like she was putting lots of coins in that cage, so it's very possible she got it.
Goodness.
But we'll have to wait and see for next week.
I know.
I feel like the time flew by.
It went by way quick. Way quick.
We'll have to do it. We'll have to do another show. Like I said, even Survivor is starting too, which I'll be down to watch Survivor with you.
I don't think I want to do Survivor.
Okay. Well, we'll pick another one. Because we also have The Valley is starting soon. The new Vanderpump with the new cast is coming. We have.
I still need to watch season 1 of The Valley. Thank you. As soon as I finish, I'm watching something on Netflix, and as soon as I finish that, I'm gonna get.
Yes, you have to, because season 2 is gonna be even more juicier because everyone's divorced. Everyone's got a divorce.
That's what they're even saying in the previews. They're saying that season 2 is supposed to be really,
yes,
really
and then
good.
you got Lala and
It's
Sheena too that are going to be on season 2. So
yeah, and I guess now aren't they all in a big fight now too? So that will probably be happening.
Yeah. They say that they're in a fight, and I think it's just for ratings, but because they live like next door to each other, and like they have a beach home in Malibu where they both live next door to each other, and they always go to Malibu. And I don't know. We'll say. Wow. And their kids go to the same school, like they're in the same grade. So does Jax's kid. Jax is in the same grade as the girls. Like, we'll see. We'll see.
God, in 20 years, those kids are gonna be fucking their. Sorry, let me stop. All right, another show, another time.
Listen, so Lala said on one of her podcasts actually that her daughter was coming home saying that she had a crush on Jax's son and that they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're like 4 years old. So
like, no kid of mine is dating anybody related to Jax. No.
So we'll see.
Sorry, Brittany. I know Brittany is super sweet and nice, but I don't know if that's enough of an offset.
Oh, yes.
But, so you guys, we will see you back then next week. We will for the final episode.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us.
And you guys have a good weekend and stay safe on these YouTube streets because they're crazy right now. We got more traitors on these streets than anyone.